In this video, I'm going to show you how to place your battery tray of your secondary battery sits behind the passenger side headlight on this Chevy Silverado 2500. Let's get started. Let's take off this brace from the top so we can access the battery. We actually have to remove the battery that sits here. If your truck has two batteries, if your truck just has one, then this won't be here. 10mm socket. Now let's disconnect the negative battery terminal. Use a 10mm socket and loosen up this nut. Okay, that comes right off. Set this aside. Do the same to the positive. Now looking right behind the battery, you'll see a 13mm bolt holding down that piece of plastic. That's just a battery hold down / retainer. We have to get that off so we can remove the battery and make space. Sometimes these can be very tight. Keep that in mind. There it is, and there's the retainer. Now you can remove the battery. Now with the battery removed, there are several 10mm bolts that we have to remove off of here. Just going to take the lower ones off first, and then these three over here. Now you can grab the battery tray, wiggle it out from underneath this fuse box, junction box, and there it is. Take your new battery tray, slide it down in here, line it up. It has to go into that slot there. Once it sits here where it's supposed to, start in some of the bolts. I'm going to start with these three that go on the back here. I'm going to start in the rest of them because I want to make sure everything's lined up before I tighten them. Okay, with all of them lined up, snug them all up. Doesn't really matter where you start now that they're all lined up. All right, let's get the battery in. Now get your battery back in. Make sure it lines up. On the back there, you want to make sure the bolt hole for that hold down bracket is visible and that it has space to obviously go down in there. Let's get this little bracket in. Make sure it lines up between those two dimples and put the bolt down. Start it on by hand and then let's snug it up. Just make it nice and snug. You don't need to crush that down. That little bracket is plastic and it can break. As long as the battery doesn't move around, you're good to go. Reconnect the battery, start with the positive, lower it down, and tighten up this 10mm nut that squishes down on that terminal. When you tighten it, just give it a turn or two and make sure it doesn't move. Once you snug it and it doesn't move, stop there. If you over tighten it, it can either break or stretch the terminal, and that would be bad. If you have a cover for this, cover it up. Mine's broken. Bring the negative over and line this one up also. Connect it. Same thing, tighten up the nut. That's bottomed out. Give it about 1/8 of a turn extra. I can't spin it, so I'm good to go. This does not have a cover. Put back this bracket and snug it up.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.